You don't baking. Hello, guys. So it appears to me that it's this MGTOW or MGTOW. Remember, I call it MGTOW because we're towing them. Men towing women, yeah, like a tugboat tows a giant, big-assed ship. Pun intended. Pun intended. Oops, sorry. Yeah, I'm a rude boy. I get offensive. But you know what part of you got offended? Offense is a weakness of the ego. So it appears to me that this MGTOW situation is, lethal sort of for the species. It could be. It might not be. I might be wrong. And the reason I say that is because it's interesting that it comes at the end of history, yeah? The end of individual human cultural history. And, now we clearly see the robots coming, and they clearly have a lot of skills that are better than us. Like, they calculate faster. They do all these there's there's at least 5 to 10 things that they do way better than us. Like how they database and so on, right? There's all these things that they do quicker than you. Like a quantum computer can calculate even faster than, your average laptop now. So now that's just the human body. Now we're not talking, divine spiritual insights and how fast that calculation is. So I don't see humans completely phasing out because we're so organic, so will we die when the planet dies? I don't think so, because we can go to other planets and the other planets have organic compounds that we can use. So ultimately I think, the human's very diverse and we can survive. But when I mean lethal for the species, this MGTOW, what I'm trying to say is that it's really going to have, a very apocalyptic impact. And isn't it funny? It comes at the apocalypse, at the end, right? So I'm an end times philosopher. A lot of people have started to notice that and said, oh, your end times knowledge is second to none. And oh, you have really good end times knowledge. Thanks, guys. Thanks for noticing. And it's interesting, it's obviously the end because the computers are coming to take all your jobs. I've talked about all this, how organic portals are like placeholders. In a sentence where you fill out a form and it says, I am something years old, and there's a placeholder line, and you have to fill in, I am 30 or whatever years old. And that's what they are for the AI manifesting robot body. And I just find it very interesting that MGTOW has just sprung up, and it's not illogical. And that's my point today. This video is going to be called MGTOW until they accept their divine role. It's meant to rhyme a bit, but yeah, so MGTOW until they accept their divine role. Now, I said recently lesbians are demonic. I didn't call them walking demons. That's different. I called them demonic, and in brackets I put demon maniac, demonic mania, because it's what they revert to when they get highly emotional and the vibration drops. This is a natural path into the demon realms. When your vibration drops to their level, you become visible to them, you become very overtakeable by them. And what I noticed is that lesbians are not going to be people that hold logic. Test it for yourself. That's why I think MGTOW is a really good thing, because we have a lot of women going WGTOW, right? Women going their own way, like lesbians, and you've got like the whole guys turning to women, transgender, and all this weird stuff going on these days. So all this is, it looks like to me, a real man of the light, is that they're running from the light. They're all just turning away from the light. Now, you can run as far away and come back as you want, but you'll always be allowed to return. That's cool. But it's at your own detriment, because you will not do great work, or a corpus or magnus opus, from illogic, from sick logic. Impossible, because the universe is a logical machine. So it's impossible that you're going to be doing great work if you're like these transgender or a lesbian. Have you noticed they're all very ego bound? They just live normal ego lives. None of them are shaman walking crystal like me, walking around the world, healing the blind, the dumb and the deaf. They're not doing that. They're not, they don't have this massive consciousness, and they're not, going to write manuscripts for humanity and do great work and all this. None of them are doing that. They're all living, they just want to be comfortable and inured in a matrix state. And I think MGTOW is very interesting. So I am going to start making more and more videos on it, It's like these women don't know what they want. It's well known women change their mind and don't know what they want. That's something that's said. I didn't make that up. It's also well known that you can't show a woman a job half done. Now, why is that? Because that's, because they are head of creation. That is their role they need to accept. And man is head of spirit. So when you show a woman a job half done, you know how they always want to correct it? And go, oh, you should do this, you should do that, and this should be created like this. It's because it's their natural role. And that's good. That's what your role is. Head of creation. And I'm going to talk about that in different videos in different ways. I don't want to repeat the exact same sentences. So if you're missing a piece there, go check my other videos, because I put different pieces in different videos. Because I don't have enough space to do a 20-hour long lecture and put it all in one video on this phone, sorry. So anyway, you've clearly got this running into illogic, running away and turning away from the light, the strength. And the light is strong and, it requires some serious work. Now, it's interesting, man is head of spirit, and we have this direct energy, right? When we get an idea, a spiritual idea, we roll with it, and it's straight out. We don't look sideways, right? Very direct on our spiritual path, and we're not creation mode looking sideways all the time, how to best create that idea. But we're trying, we're just, direct in the idea. So you see the different energies of the woman spreading out circular, and then the man's direct energy, right? This is all very obvious stuff. I'm just trying to put it all together for a higher picture. That I find it interesting that MGTOW has come about, because all these women are running into illogic. And yes, it is got a lot to do with emotion. There's the emotional trap and the logical trap. So you can be over logical and then have no empathy and, be like that. Like a lot of men can get like that. But we are holding the straight energy. Doing that, though. And, I just see a whole lot of women being illogical. Not just emotional. Let's move past that little point. Like in an argument, they get over emotional instead of over logical. And you see the great men out there. Watch SJW Central Channel if you need examples. I shouldn't have to put it in a video. I've given you a reference. Go watch the channel, and you're going to see endless women coming up with absolutely ridiculous, ill and sick logic, like shaming middle schoolers with privilege tests was one video. I love the titles that guy puts on his videos. Very, very funny. And it's true. It's not like some erroneous title. And there's all these women coming with these nanny state socialist type of ideas. And they're almost bordering on communist sort of feels as well. And, what's interesting is that all these ideas are very, like, they're very ridiculous. They're not going to lead to a better world. They're grabbing for safety, not evolution. Look, there's a saying by a great man, something like, when you will find your safety that you seek when you finally live. Something along those lines. That's a paraphrase. That wasn't the exact quote, but it's along those lines, that you'll get the safety that you want when you actually live, like, properly. You know, you've also heard the universe favors the courageous or the bold. All that's true, but you have to go for it and you have to find that out for yourself. So anyway, they keep coming up with these ridiculous ideas, what I'm seeing, and it seems to me like very nanny state. Now it's funny, there's a what is it, MGTOW, King G, MGTOW channel, that guy. He has a video called "Are Women Really Children?" I thought this was like the really, really, really good title, because you always see women acting like children. They just start yelling and getting all crazy. The man's sitting there with like a calm face. Well, why are you getting all uppity and yelling? This is the emotional trap, ladies. Do you see it? You're not running into logic by doing it. You're running away from the light. Logic is light, yeah? Light is information. Information is logical, yeah? Otherwise, all of this wouldn't be here, wouldn't be put together. Oh, sorry. Oh, I stood on his little paw. Oh. Sorry, I didn't see you, Pushy Push. He follows me everywhere. I love it. Sorry. What was I saying? Bish, bish, bish. So yeah, it's interesting that MGTOW... Oh! It's interesting that MGTOW comes up at the end of history. And it could be lethal for the species in a way. Not completely lethal, but very, very... very, very detrimental. Well, because we're splitting, we're stronger together, and that's what I mean. We do have to do this until we come back together properly. It seems to me part of the NPCs coming in, because NPCs are not filled with light, you know, the organic portals, and so there's this big rush of NPC illogic so that you are confused at the end of history and you don't know the way. Remember, I'm a way shower. So it's part of the harvest, because if you don't know your way, then you're going to get harvested. And a real man always knows the way. That's the man's job. The direct energy. That's what I've been saying. The head of spirit is always going to know the way. The best way showers in the world are going to be a man. Always. Always. The best way shower or way showers in the world will always be men, because it's that's their energy, that's the job. You know, the direct divine inspiration, having models of reality created and all this. So it's very interesting MGTOW comes around at the end of history. So what do I think about this? All right. Well, you know, the robots are coming and the species seems to be split, or being split by other methods, not just MGTOW. So it's funny that MGTOW comes around at the same time. And it seems natural to me. That's why I've started talking about it. It doesn't seem like some ego-driven male movement, male chauvinist, misogynistic and all this. That's getting, you know, into illogic. You've got no basis for that. I've got much more basis for what I've said. The reason MGTOW is coming around is because the illogic of all the women, and that man's energy just can't hang with that, because it's not illogical and it's the very logical, direct line, spirited energy. So it's natural. It's not some ego, male, misogynistic movement. That's what I realized. And in this video, I don't think I've sounded, you know, am I yelling? Am I getting crazy? No. I'm being very calm. I'm trying to find logical points, you see. to travel along so that the universe keeps going. Do you get it? You don't find that in emotions. Sometimes, yes, the man is pushing too hard forward, and then you need to, it's like a stop to get emotional, and let's view sideways from that point. And then we can better create again, and then we can start going again. But you see, that's how the man and the woman are going to work together as head of creation and head of spirit. But not until they accept their role. So they're all like, oh, we don't need a man. I'll bet you any money that the women will crack first. How empty it would feel to get artificially inseminated just because you're, so egoic that you can't even be with a man. You're so disgusted by a man. This is all ridiculous. It seems to me to always be coming down to freedom of spirit. So it's funny that MGTOW comes around from man, head of spirit. Well, because all these laws that these ridiculous women are trying to enact, and again, refer to SJW Central Channel. Very many examples, plenty of examples. There's like 50 good video examples on there. If you can't get it from watching that channel, you're not going to get it. These crazy feminists yelling at these protests, all of that stuff. Check it all out. You don't see the men doing that, not the real men, only the bitch men. You'll see at the protests doing that sort of action, all the craziness. Check it out. So, I don't know, I find this all very interesting that it comes at the end of history, because, and also that it seems to be going against, man's freedom. Man is very free, right? Man, like, I'm out here free in nature. I don't need, I don't need a woman to comfort me, because I can ground, I can think new ideas in, and all this. So, I don't know, it looks like I'm going to be disrupted here. I need to finish the talk. So, it's very interesting that it comes around at the end of history when we have a split in the species, and also that it seems to be a lot against logic and man's freedom. And, I mean man, not just men. I mean humankind's freedom. Because all these, laws are all restrictive. They're all super restrictive. So they're not, voting for evolution. They're not voting for freedom. So they're acting like a kind of blocking, you see. It's not like they're voting for, a forward evolution where we all get to a better state or something. They're voting for like a nanny state. That's what all these things are doing. They're all restrictive laws. Right, I'm losing my concentration here, so I'm just going to have to kind of summarize it. It's MGTOW until they realize their divine role, really. And the divine role is being at man's side. That's your role, women. I'm not going to refer to the Bible because I'm not religious, but even in there it says made from Adam's rib, and that's stupid, right? That's why I didn't want to refer to anything stupid like that. That's mythical. Oh yeah, woman, you're only one rib out of the man. I see, I'm not even downing you that much. You see that? I've just talked straight on logic and emotion and the restriction of laws and forward movement and evolution of the species. I didn't even bring anything crazy in the Bible. Even the Bible is more crazy than what I just said. It says, woman is only made from man's rib. You're so much lesser. So I even just, held you women higher than even the Holy Bible. And that's because I'm a Maitreyu Christ. I am not just some man editing a Bible and the last Christ's words, Jesus of Nazareth or whatever his name was, Yeshua, whatever. Old mate Jesus, he came and he would have been like me too. He would have been and he flipped the table. Remember in one passage you hear how he flips a table? He got angry too, because people were being stupid, no doubt. And what he was saying was, put into a Bible, but then people edited it. Don't forget that they edited it, right? They did editing on that. That's why I'm trying to say that, you know, the Bible isn't just some holy book. It was edited by men. Anyway, you know, the reason I say this stuff is from different levels. I just think you need to realize that this MGTOW is not just, you know, men being egoistic or something. It has much more to do with logic and holding our nature of firmness. The man is, you know, very firm, and the woman is always trying to like say no, but this, but that, and that's that head of creation energy, and that's fine because the things work really well together. But not when the woman is run off into illogic, and not when the man is like what we call a bitch man of the matrix, or not standing strong in logic. And when they get overly emotional and all this. So that's why. And yeah. Alright, that's all I got to say. That summed it all up and put it and tied it together really well. I'm Benjamin Cowenberg, consciousazine.net. And if you learned anything from the video, can you please press the like, because then you know, it gets out to more people. It's not just for my little dopamine hit, oh, they pressed the like button, yay. No, it's so that the video gets out further. Okay, thanks.